Hi guys, it's Nami, and today's video is one that kind of came spur of the moment idea. It took me a while to actually do the art for the video, but the actual idea came when I was on Instagram. And you know how on Instagram artists sometimes do these memes or these challenges or whatnot that everybody starts to do? You see it with like Inktober and then like Mermaid and stuff, where like you do a challenge for 30 days or whatnot. Well, on Instagram, they also have these like little mini type of challenges where you can draw something based on the challenge and you post it. What's been going around lately is meet the artist type of challenges, or get to know the artist, or about the artist type of things. Now, if you've been on the internet for any span of time, you know this is not necessarily a new concept, but posting on Instagram is. This is something that I've seen on DeviantArt, Tumblr, Facebook, MySpace back in the day. People would just kind of draw and create themselves as their own character and then do a little like list of things about them, what they like and whatnot. And so I thought, instead of just posting it on Instagram like everybody else, I would do a video about it. So here we are. As you can see on the screen right now, I am drawing out myself. And this was kind of interesting because this is the first self-portrait I've done in quite a while. And I found that I really enjoyed kind of just not putting too much pressure on myself to draw myself perfectly, but also not to draw myself so, I guess realistically. I kind of made myself into my own character, which was really, really fun. And as you can see right here, I tried to draw Nami, which is my avatar character, but it didn't really work out. I wasn't feeling it, so I ended up just kind of getting rid of her and focusing mainly on this artwork of myself, which is the first self-portrait I've done in quite a while. Self-portrait, it's kind of abstract and different and not necessarily a complete representation of me, but for this one I kind of just wanted to draw myself in my actual style as a character that would probably exist in one of my universes with my other characters, and I actually enjoyed the end result. I kind of found that this time I wasn't judging myself too hard. I wasn't trying to draw myself too pretty or too ugly, or trying to do anything other than just kind of drawing myself as an actual character that might be in one of my stories. And I don't know, I really found that with doing this piece I reignited that love for drawing. The last video that I posted of the bunny girl, which again is Nami, which is the avatar slash character that I've made into my online persona. She's someone that I've drawn multiple times in multiple styles, and I love every iteration that I've done of her. But when it comes to drawing yourself, it's a little bit different. In these like meet the artist type of post and whatnot, you kind of are pulling back a little bit of the veil that we tend to put on ourselves and the kind of perfection and pristine image that we all try to put, no matter if you're somebody who's super neat or super messy, or you come off any type of way. It is a cultivated image of yourself. And so with this video, I kind of found that making this piece of art was really cathartic, because I wasn't trying to make myself anything other than what I really was. And so just drawing myself was super fun. I mean, the outfit that you see I'm wearing is one that I actually wear in real life. I don't actually have a shirt with a bunny on it, but I do want a shirt with a bunny on it. But I'm very casual and laid back, and my hair's relatively short. I cut it last year and it's been growing out since, and I used to be somebody who put on makeup every day and got dressed up and tried to look as presentable as possible and had long hair and really cared about my image for a long time. And now I'm just worried about being comfortable and being able to do what I need to do and not focusing on all those different things. And this challenge kind of pointed that out to me about my own style. And then the next part that I found that kind of was awakened by this challenge was my love for drawing iPads. No, not drawing iPads. That was stupid. I meant to say items, but because I saw the iPad on the screen, I said iPad. No, I used to draw in high school specifically. This is the time that I remember I used to do this the most. In my sketchbook, just random items all the time. I always had this like love of drawing silly little images of things around me and all that kind of stuff. And this was just one of those times where I love drawing little silly things like this. And yeah, as you can see, I'm drawing all my supplies right now because part of the meme itself is to also kind of show what's in your art bag or the bag you take out into the world with you. And for me, it is, well, right now I'm drawing the backpack that I actually use. I use a backpack, not a purse. For a long time I used a bag or a purse or something, but I found that a backpack is it's just the easiest thing for me to use. It's a very small, tiny backpack. It's not a actual full-sized one, but I just know all my items are secure. I know that I can wear it on my back and it's not gonna go anywhere. I can wear it like a normal purse and just have one strap over my shoulder. It's just more, I don't know, I like little backpacks like this. And surprisingly enough, all of the supplies that I drew on the screen actually fit in this mini backpack. Even my iPad, it barely fits, but it fits. And my favorite thing about this backpack has to be that it's Sailor Moon themed. Box Lunch is a store at the mall. I believe they're in collaboration with Hot Topic, or like a sub brand of Hot Topic. And so they produce all of these items and backpacks and stuff in the themes of like just like movies and cartoons and whatnot. And this one was Sailor Moon, so it's my favorite. I've been using it for a very long time now. Yeah, I absolutely love it. And so now we're getting into the part where I start to draw all the things that I have as an artist in my bag. And the first one is, of course, the iPad, which is a new addition, but it's probably one of my most beloved art supplies. I just really enjoy drawing on it. It's just, I don't know, I really love the iPad. I think it was a good investment for myself. I've been able to just use it every day. I can use it for art and entertainment, but I do mostly use it for art and drawing. Use it for editing. It's a really nice tool, and I'm really glad that I have it. I'm really glad that I saved up for it and I was able to finally buy one. I've been waiting, hopefully, waiting to see if there would be an iPad available that I could get that wasn't going to cost me so much. And the 2018 version is perfect for just what I need, and I love it a lot. It's really one of my favorite art supplies that I've gotten in a long, long time. Now the rest of this stuff is all traditional medium. This right here is a small watercolor palette, and I have a multitude of different watercolor palettes, but currently I am switching in between a couple smaller ones. Instead of having a big, huge studio palette, I usually use something that's just small, travel friendly. I can just open it up anywhere and use it anywhere pretty much. And this one just kind of represents that, because I have a couple that I use more frequently than others that are different shapes, but this is kind of more the classic traditional style watercolor palette that you see other people use, where you can like put the little pans in yourself, and it's tin, and it has the two little hinges, and then of course paintbrushes. Now this little section of supplies is just kind of a little like jumble of different supplies. I have my favorite mechanical pencil, my favorite brush pen, the current sharpener that I use, a ruler, just because sometimes I end up using a ruler, especially since I do bullet journaling sometimes. And then we have my bag of Copics and Ohuhu markers. Yes, I actually use Ohuhu markers, not just Copics. They're actually one of the best inexpensive / cheap markers you can find, so I decided to just like draw a pencil bag with a bunch of those, because typically if I'm gonna go out and about, I'll actually take some alcohol markers with me in case if I'm not gonna use my iPad. And then we have a sketchbook, and this one's supposed to mimic the Canson XL Media type of sketchbooks, though it's not personally my #1 favorite sketchbook. I have another sketchbook that I think is pretty much my new favorite, but I kind of want to do a video about that later. If you guys want to see a video about this mystery sketchbook that I'm talking about, please leave it in the comments below. But yeah, I always have some sort of sketchbook with me if I can help it when I go out, even if it's just like a little tiny notebook or something. And that one just representing kind of like traditional medium sketchbooks. And then my other favorite sketchbook has to be, hands down, the Global Arts Handbook watercolor sketchbooks. These are phenomenal sketchbooks. The paper is great. Something about the sketchbook just makes me so happy. The whole Global Arts Handbook collection, their travelogue books and whatnot, good collection, really great, super solid. I really love these sketchbooks. They're just really good. I don't know what it is about them. They just really are nice. I've tried quite a few other brands when it comes to watercolor paper or watercolor sketchbooks. I've tried Moleskine, I've tried Canson, of course. I have the B watercolor paper, which is one of the better sketchbooks, and I would recommend that one, but it's not my favorite because it's a spiral bound book. I prefer just normal, traditional, just, I guess, hardback bound books. But the Global Arts one is it's really, really nice. I don't know what it is about it. It's just very nice. It's super light, which I know is kind of surprising. Usually with art supplies, you want something that's a little bit heavier, but I found that with this watercolor book in particular, it being so light means that it's really fun to use out and about. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It's not super bulky. It works really, really well. Now for the rest of this piece, I'm actually going to start coloring it in a bit. I'm fixing a little bit of the line art right now. But I found with doing this challenge, I guess it's a challenge, I don't know, that my digital painting style is very rough and not very refined, and I was kind of scared to go full out and paint. I was already taking a long time doing this. I thought I was only going to take like a couple hours at most to do this. This actually took me like a week to sit down and draw here and there, do some line work, do some sketching, do some coloring, and actually finish it. I didn't work on it like every single day, but I worked on it for a couple hours every few days or so. So it took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to. And I found that with the coloring specifically, I realized I need a lot more practice with digital art. This really taught me that. As an artist, I tend to not really have one thing that I stick to for a long period of time, but with digital art, I do want to improve and I do want to get better at it for sure. And I realized while doing this, specifically when we get to the later part of the video where I start to actually do some layering of colors and whatnot, that I don't really know everything that I'm doing. I don't really have a full understanding of color theory and painting, and definitely don't understand this program completely enough. So it kind of showed me that I need more time, especially as an artist, to practice more, to study more, from the anatomy to the weird coloring to not really having the best perspective when I was drawing the art supplies. I learned a lot from doing this, believe it or not. I kind of realized that I need to be a bit more patient with myself. I need to do a bit more, I guess, I need to be a little bit more diligent about my lines and not making everything super, super sketchy looking. I need to not be lazy in certain aspects when it comes to coloring or doing line art or something. Like, yeah, it's probably gonna, as you can see, like, look at the bunny right there, like all those wiggly lines. I could have easily fixed that, but I was kind of in this mindset of just kind of just draw, just paint, don't worry about it too much. So I give myself a little bit of leeway, but in the future for more refined pieces, I don't want to have any of this like sloppiness, because I don't want my art to go that direction. But yeah, as you can see, I'm going to start coloring in here. I'm just filling in a couple spots, and I'm going to start with the skin first, I believe. I'm going to fill in the shorts real quick. Yep, we're going to fill in the shorts, and then we move on to the skin. Since this is just going to pretty much be me coloring in, I guess we can talk about something else other than the art. And that would be like, what kind of content are you guys wanting to see on the channel? Is there anything specific you want to see me draw or talk about? I have a couple video ideas for the rest of January. I'm thinking of doing some videos either about my character Nami, or doing some like practice videos where I do some practices and studies and whatnot, and I film it for you guys, and you guys just kind of come along on the journey with me. There's a couple things that I've been wanting to try out specifically, and I kind of want to see what I can do and improve with that. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking about lately, about like what kind of videos I can post and what kind of art can I share. And as you can see here, I started coloring in the skin, and I'm kind of a little disappointed at the end result because I really like the contrast. As you can see right now, like there's very distinct coloring going on, and in a little bit I end up blending it almost all away, and looking back, I kind of wish I hadn't, because I do kind of like a little bit more of the stark contrast, obviously illustrated type of look when it comes to this like more simple pieces. I tried blending it. I didn't have enough contrast in the colors. I was kind of picking from a pre-made color palette, which I realize now I need to just sit down with Clip Studio and just make my own palettes. I already have a bunch of custom brushes that I've been using for my line art and stuff, and that's already been a lot easier. But yeah, I'm about to start blending it right about now, I think, is where it's going to start blending. Oh no, I'm going to finish coloring in some areas. But yeah, as you can see, there's like not enough contrast. There's some, but not enough. I don't know why I didn't add more. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. Yeah, watching this back, I realized like this was the first time that I had done a piece in a while where I wasn't really too focused on making it perfect. I just kind of wanted to draw myself. Yeah, there we go. I blended. As you can see, I blended it a little too much contrast went away. It's all a little too smooth, especially here in the legs. It all kind of just blended together. So that's the regret on that part, but I don't mind it too much because I did want everything to match. And if I had put too much contrast, that means I would have had to put contrast of that nature in every other piece of this picture. And I knew that, you'll see later on with the art supplies, I don't color them necessarily too detailed. So it's okay because it all kind of balances, which I think is more important at the end of the day, that the whole picture balances than it just having really detailed starkness. At least for something like this, where it's an overall picture rather than like really focusing in on one detail. But I do want to practice more with coloring and painting and kind of pushing values and stuff. I had done a couple different techniques of coloring, like with the sort of gradiating colors of dark to light to dark. And this liner, I'm not sure why I picked this blue color liner. I'm not sure why I didn't just stick with black, but at the end of the day, I think it kind of looks a little cooler. I was just kind of playing around. I just wanted to see what I could do and what would be more experimentative. This whole kind of challenge thing was a little bit of that. It was more of an experiment to see like what I could do, you know, if I could do a full piece and just kind of go with whatever happened. But I definitely think I'm going to refine some of the stylistic. What is stylistic? I don't know what I don't know. It definitely made me realize that I want to like kind of pull back for a bit, reevaluate, and then practice some different techniques and kind of stick to one style for now, and on my off time practice other styles. As you can see here, like with the coloring of the shirt, I kind of knew what I was doing, but not really. I didn't look up any references. I didn't put a lot of effort into trying to make things look more refined. I was just kind of coloring to color. I didn't really like how the shirt came out, to be honest. But again, I'm still practicing, and I realized from doing this that I want to definitely do more studies. I really want to focus on not just painting or drawing what I think is going on or cutting corners. I want to kind of condition myself and teach myself to be a little bit more patient, take a little bit more time, slowly but surely, and put more effort in. Again, this wasn't supposed to be some super crazy piece, obviously. It wasn't supposed to be super detailed and whatnot. It's just kind of a little, hi guys, I'm this artist, and these are things I like, and these are my art supplies that I love. But it did teach me that as much as I have learned, there's still so much more for me to learn. There's still so much more for me to refine. There's still so much more discipline in just creating and art in general that I want to devote to my pieces of art. And, you know, I realized from doing this, as simple as it was, it could have been better. Not just because, you know, every artist thinks, oh, I could have done better, but because I really could have done better, but I just didn't put forth that extra effort. I kept looking at little things here and little things there, but I said, oh, but I already colored this, so I can't go back and do this, or I've already done this, so I can't change that. And I realized if in the beginning I had just took more effort into the drawing itself, that then I could have also put that much more effort into the painting itself, and I wouldn't be looking back at this piece and seeing specific things that I'm like, why didn't you fix that? Why did you just ignore it? It's kind of like that moment where you realize, oh, you're doing a bad habit. In order to stop this, you need to tell yourself, hey, you're doing this bad habit, stop. And so as much as this was just supposed to be a fun little challenge type thing to put on Instagram, it taught me quite a bit about my own art style, my own work ethic, my own ideas about art and whatnot, and it was really enlightening. So even though it's a meet the artist, you guys can meet me, it actually was kind of like me meeting myself and being like, oh, these are some of my habits and things that I do and how I kind of approach certain things that I kind of want to work on. And as you can see here, one of the big things here is when I was coloring all the little pieces of the art supplies, I didn't put as much effort into it because I felt like the way that everything was drawn was so simple that adding that extra effort wouldn't have been even noticed because everything was so small. There wasn't a lot of detail in anything really enough to really justify adding really intense highlights or trying to do anything super realistic or over the top, because everything was really simplified. And so I realized at the end of the day with this piece, everything was supposed to be very simple, but I had also had it in my head when I was drawing and doing everything that I wanted it to be more detailed. So now we're at the part where I made a boo-boo. I had recorded everything up to this point, but unfortunately I moved into Procreate and didn't hit record. Luckily for me, Procreate has this option where you can actually record all of the strokes that you're doing on the screen. So I clicked that and I was able to export this footage for you, but I really wanted to show you guys how I was using Procreate, kind of showing you the interface and everything, just because I think it's a really integral part in watching an artist and their process. I have a lot of friends who've asked me to kind of see how I do art, and they always like come to any live streams and stuff I do just because they want to see how I'm doing it. And well, I'm really sad that I couldn't show you that. But you guys do have this this footage of me writing most of this stuff. And yeah, my likes and dislikes, both of them are kind of silly and whatnot. I really found that I actually had a hard time picking my likes and my dislikes. Mostly my dislikes, because I don't really dislike that many things. There are some things in there that are kind of silly and some of them are kind of serious, but yeah. That's pretty much the gist of it. I did write this little about me that if you want to pause the video, you can read it at the end because I post the whole picture. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I kind of just wanted to take a moment, do a piece of art that was something a little bit different than what I normally have been doing, but kind of branching into more what I want to be doing. I would love to do something like this, kind of like a character sheet for other characters in the future. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. But yeah, I hope you guys super duper enjoy this video. Like I said, please leave a like, please comment, and definitely subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to show you guys more work. If you have any video ideas, leave them down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope the rest of your 2019 is amazing. Bye! What is this called? This is Clip Studio Paint, I believe. Yes, Clip Studio Paint for the iPad. I cannot believe I forgot that. But I recently got a demo of this on my computer, and I was using my Cintiq, and I really liked it, and I used it to create my boyfriend's channel art on Twitch, which was my kind of first venture into doing digital art again.